Ibashe Oludumare, Ibashe Owumila, Ibashe Awo Akoda, Ibashe Asheda, Ibashe Ejubona Mefa, Ibashe Agbongbong, Oba Ile Ife, Ibashe Araba Lotu Ife, Ibashe Olokun, Ibashe Olasa, Ibashe Aje Ogun Uloso Olamba Aye, Ibashe Ita Merindinogun, Ibashe Orunoko, Ibashe Okunoko, Ibashe Okiti Awoko, Ibashe Oguni Male Deju, Ibashe Babas, Ibashe Yeyes, Ibashe Ori, Ibashe Tototo, Oludumare Emojuba. Kiba me eshi orunjuba. Ashe.
But the true essence of magical or occult phenomenon is the creation of an ego, the creation of an identity, but an identity that will hold and maintain through lifetimes. The all in all is a spiritual and unseen subcontext that lies beneath all of reality. That is the all. And that within itself is mental. The greatest thing you can do in this moment is to be aware that these events are happening and to start digging into your creative mind as to where you can begin to assist. So these are not theories and thoughts and ideas that have been developed within me overnight, nor are they theories, thoughts, and ideas that have been developed inside of a vacuum, but they've been tried and proven. The real currently is the desert of the mind, because your mind can only perceive what is real, but you have yet to actually fully. So if the universe is mental, then can the universe learn something? Certainly. Okay, peace and power, Foundation of Friday family. Here we are again with another session. I guess our first session for the Roman New Year of 2015. And as each and every time, as it has been thus far, I am your conductor on this journey. H. Yuya Asan Anu, known by many names, but more affectionately known as Chief Yuya. So here we are again with another session. And as mentioned in the title of this broadcast, what I really wanted to deal with in this session was maybe some small rituals and offerings that you can do to get your financial new year kicked off properly, or kicked off in a way where at least you feel empowered, that you feel like you're taking some things into your own hands. So I know it's been some time since I've done a show on rituals specifically, just rituals. I mean, I actually haven't done that many either way, but I know either way it's been a while. You know, I kind of like to focus on the cerebral and the healing and the getting the spirit and attuned to what it's supposed to be attuned to, and people creating their own frequencies. I tend to dwell on that a bit more than just giving rote ritual, because as I always say to you, the vibration that you enter into your rituals with is the vibration that the rituals will amplify. And I know whenever a teacher is giving out rituals, people perk up because they figure, okay, I'm going to do this and now I'm going to get some stuff. And sometimes that doesn't happen, and then the frustration sets in, or they feel like maybe I'm in the wrong tradition, maybe I have the wrong teacher, just maybe everything is wrong. And sometimes individuals don't take a look back to say, well, maybe I'm approaching this with the wrong mindset. And that can be the most dangerous thing in all of this work, approaching it with the wrong mindset. The rituals owe you nothing. The teachers owe you nothing. And the astral forces that you are petitioning and working with owe you absolutely nothing. So in fact, it is your ability to get your mind tuned into the frequency of what it is that you're attempting to accomplish, and remove any sense of entitlement from the process and look at it as just that, a process or a transaction. And you have to come with a pure and open heart. Because most of the time when you're doing a ritual, or you're doing an ebo, you're presenting adumu or a tutu, you're doing it because you want to transform your life in some way. It's usually, sometimes of course you do it because you want to give tribute to the energies that you respect and that you honor, whether those be your ancestors or whether they just be the forces that are around you that you appreciate. It could be the air, it could be the water, it could be a tree, it could be an ant, it could be a flea, whatever it is that you look at, and you're able to create a more intuitive relationship with and say, okay, I vibe with you. Sometimes you just do rituals to give those energies honor, which is cool, because that's what keeps everything sustained, because we all have our energies and our forces that we have certain affinities for. And that's where a lot of the power, or at least the collective evolutionary power, comes from, because everyone's not focused on one thing. You have some people who they could care less about an Orisha. They only work with the saints. But they work with the Catholic saints in the same way that a person who works with the Orisha do. So they're doing rituals, ebos, and sacrifice the same way, and then you have those who just work with the ancestors. So whatever energies it is that you work with, regardless, you still have to make sure that your vibration is correct coming in. Because if your vibration is not correct, then your rituals will be destroyed. They'll be ruined. The work that you're actually aiming and striving to do. So I wanted to just give that little disclaimer, before we start anything, because I've found that to be an issue at times for people, just some of the frustration. And of course, like I've said before, I do receive many what I call orphan, people who either are no longer working with their quote unquote spiritual parents, or maybe had a falling out or whatever, or just were kind of left by the wayside, got initiated, or got their warriors or their lekes, and that was the end of it. So I tend to get a lot of those because I have the ability to explain a lot of things, and I don't mind explaining things, and that's comforting for people when they kind of feel like they're lost. But a lot of times people are quick to blame their old teachers and look at me as some sort of new light, some new savior is going to now fix everything that's going on. And that's not the case. It's your vibration. It is your energy. It is your ability and potential to control and wield and strengthen your imagination, and combined with your willpower and your own focus. That is your greatest weapon. Good teachers is invaluable, but ultimately without the force and power of your own directed, open, and loving will, nothing can happen. These are acts of love. So even the work that I'm going to give and share with you, they are acts of love. Okay, not just love on my behalf, but the love that you have to have for the energies that you'll be working with. Okay, or working for, the ones who are working for you. Okay, and if that's not present, then you can forget about it. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and then after this break, when we come back, we're going to get into these rituals. I'll be right back.
And now for a New Nation announcements. Join us on January 18th, 2015 for a power-packed A New Nation workshop hosted by Sister Felicia Terrell Anu, entitled Rituals for a Successful Business, which will be held at Nicholas Brooklyn Bookstore in Brooklyn, New York. This program deals with the practical application of blending business and spirituality to help you usher in prosperity and success for you and your business. All those who attend our New Nation workshops will receive 25% off on classes and additional discounts on our products and services. To learn more as well as RSVP, please visit us at www.anewnation.org/events. Chief Yuya is now offering his monthly spiritual services to the public. This is an excellent service that includes a monthly reading and spiritual work that is done on your behalf. This is perfect for someone in need of spiritual guidance, healing, or insight and support in any situation, including personal, family, or business. These services aim to bring you on the path to success and offer powerful guidance and spiritual work to overcome any challenges. To learn more, you can visit us at www.saduluhouse.com/store. And now, back to our segment.
Okay, so again, we're back. You're listening to Foundational Friday on Enlightenment and Transformation. And of course, speaking, I am H. Yuya Hassan Anu. And we're discussing just the energy surrounding, or really the intention that needs to surround our movements towards spiritual work and our rituals and our rites. And as you've heard me say so many times, this is not a vending machine experience. So it's not just, well, I gave you the rum, you give me the job. Now, sometimes it does work that way. But in order for it to work that way, you must first have Ashe, which is your spiritual authority. Your spiritual authority has to come through your connectedness. Okay, so even anything that has authority has to first be connected to that person, entity, or space that it has authority over. So once you create a sincere and authentic connection to those spirits that you're working with, then you'll see things happen. Sometimes it becomes a challenge for people because they're so wrapped into the fear of spirit. And no one cuddles up or gets cozy with something that they're afraid of. Okay, so when you have that fear, that consistent fear, and you're unable to move your mental focus and concentration away from the idea that the entities working with you ultimately are so volatile that at any moment they may lash out and hurt you, then that same vibration becomes the ruling energy of the rituals that you do. So it becomes a very dangerous thing to even do a ritual when that much fear is present. Again, one of the reasons why I don't make these segments just segments full of ritual, but I try to, or I do, I'm not going to say try, I teach and instruct you on how to employ the ancient rituals by using your focus and the force of your accompanying word power, or even learning your words of power. It's the power that you have of bending the cogs and the gears of the universe. That comes through connecting and associating yourself with the force flowing from you into that bottomless, inexhaustible reservoir of energy that's in the universe. Okay, so in order for you to really go into those centers that are inside of your body, which represent the centers that are in the universe, you have to first connect. And the connection within itself is a love thing. So your rituals are propelled and strengthened by your ability to love. It does not mean that hate cannot be present. Doesn't mean that. In fact, if only love is present, then you're imbalanced anyway. So there has to be a hate. There has to be a separation from certain things. Certainly, if you're doing something that's aiming to affect another individual, you want to be disconnected to some degree from what actually is going to happen to that person. But you still want to be connected to the energies that are going to do the work. So that whole, kind of like lighting a firecracker, running away with your, hand over your ears and your eyes shut, that's ineffective. You have to have the heart to stand firm and stand tall to see exactly where your spiritual words of power and your spiritual aims are really objecting themselves towards. Okay, you got to see where those balls of light are shooting out to. So you got to stand in the face of your own work. You have to stand in the face of your own work. You have to be connected to your own work. It's not just enough to go through some steps that I'm going to give you, or go through some steps that you read on the internet and expect these great results, because I will promise you, you will not get them. And this is why you have not been getting them. Okay. You have to connect with this work. And you have to understand that, number one, you are a bornless soul. Okay. You have no birth date. You may have your soul was never born. So if it was never born, it can never die. It's nothing to be afraid of. Okay. In fact, it is your force and your vibration that the very nature of the cosmos is afraid of. You have the ability to bend and shift the wind. You have the ability to snuff out or compel fire to be so much more, or the ability to change the entire flow and intention of a body of water, or to terraform the earth. You have the mystic crown. So if you don't see yourself as being the genius of all invocations of hidden spiritual beings, you have to see yourself as that exact genius. And when you're working with other people, or working on other people, your genius is connecting with their genius. That's the quiet spiritual work. And of course, when I'm speaking about the genius connecting, I'm speaking about the jinn. The jinn is the genius. Genius means hidden substance. Or Damien means hidden substance or genius. This is no different than the jinn. The hidden substance, or the hidden kingdom that lives and breathes in titanic fashion in a dimension parallel to our own. Okay? So once you see it as such, once you can visualize it as such, then the work gets interesting. You see the flooding of planets and stars and galaxies and mountains and rivers and trees. You see them flooding out of your imagination and your visualization, and it makes your work a whole lot easier. You find that you don't actually have to do as much when you're getting ready to work. You see? So, we're going to get into some of the steps now, but like I said, as it is, it's very important that for me, that you come in with the proper mindset. So I really wanted to spend some time really focusing on that, because I don't have to give you 5 million rituals. In fact, I'm not going to give you 5 million rituals this time. So those of you who were thinking I was going to give 20, 30 rituals in an hour, no, I'm not. In fact, what I just gave you is more powerful than what I'm getting ready to give you. What I just gave you is more powerful. The transformation of your mind through the love. Love transforms. Remember that. Knowledge enlightens. Knowledge expands. But love transforms. So what I just gave you was out of love, connecting with your genius. So that means the ritual already began. But that's more powerful than the actual steps. And if you're having some difficulty with conceptualizing what I'm saying right now, I would suggest that you go back to the show where I spoke about sound vibrations. Okay. And I think that will help you. Yeah, I think that will help you to gain some clarity on the power of intention as opposed to the power of the vibration of said intention. Okay, it might help you out a little bit better, and then you'll understand the alchemy of the consciousness that I'm referring to, the alchemical process that it puts things through. Okay, because everything we're doing is alchemical. It's all alchemy. All right, so let's get into what we're speaking about now. I think I'm sitting here as I'm working. As I'm speaking, I'm still deciding on what rituals to give you. But I have a few in particular that I think will be great for this coming year, for where we're coming in this coming financial year. And it will focus on some of the things that I think you need. For instance, I think it's time for us to deal with a little love. And you probably didn't think that I could deal with love. I know everybody thinks I'm so tearing, I'm just so goonish. I'm always tearing everything up. But I got some Oshun working with me too. Oshun, she rounds off and smooths out the rough edges. So we're gonna deal with Oshun because coming into this year, I've really been feeling a very strong Oshun vibration. So we're gonna start with Dear Oshun. All right. So getting more into it and getting it to where we need it to be. Like I said, we'll just work with Yeye. Okay. And then maybe when I do my next one, we'll just work with one specific energy. So we're gonna do some mono rituals, and what I mean by mono rituals, we're gonna keep it within the strain of one energy. Okay, we'll keep it in the strain of one energy. And let's start with some of our ingredients. I'm not going to tell you what it's for yet, but let's see if you can ride with me. I mean, either way, all you got to do is listen to the show. Go back later. All right. So for the first part, we're going to break it up into a few parts. I want you to get some water. What you're going to do with the water first, though, is get some spring water. Okay, and you're going to need about, maybe I'd say a half a gallon should do it. All right, and you're going to put that in a white bowl. All right, you're going to put it in a white bowl, not a clear bowl, not a blue bowl, not a black bowl, not even a yellow bowl, a white bowl. Okay, and you're going to sit that so that it can get sunlight as well as moonlight. Okay, so you're going to let that sit for 3 days and 3 nights. And it's going to sunbathe and it's going to moonbathe. Obviously, don't put it somewhere where your cat is going to drink all of it. Okay. But you want to make sure that it's properly charged by the sun and by the moon. And then I also want you to get some olive oil. Okay. You're going to get a good amount. You're probably going to get about, I'd say at least 8 to 16 ounces of olive oil. Okay. So we can round it. We can say 12 ounces of olive oil. And you're also going to get some honey. No big surprise there, right? And you're also going to get 5 eggs. Okay, 5 eggs. So, and you can also get some cotton. Pure cotton. All right. So this is how we're going to prepare. We haven't even started our work as of yet. And of course, before you're doing any type of spiritual work, you usually want to start with a spiritual bath. Okay. And because we're coming into a new financial year, I would advise you to do the aura strengthening bath. That's in my book, Grasping the Root of Divine Power. Start with that bath. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you, that's a very strong bath. People have taken it. They'll tell you, but it's a very effective one. All right. Because we want to, in some senses, we're starting new, whether we see it as a new year or not. But, we're definitely, anytime we're doing a ritual or bath, we want to transform our situation. We want it to start over fresh. Okay. So what you're going to do after you take your bath, you're going to get all these ingredients together. This is part 1, just so you know. All right. So it's going to get a little bit more complex. So make sure you start off properly. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to take you're going to get a wooden bowl, or even a gourd. You can get the half calabash. You're going to put that inside of the bowl of water, the big bowl of water with a half a gallon of water. Okay. And you're going to fill that gourd with almond oil. Okay. You're going to fill it with almond oil. After you fill it with the almond oil, what you're going to do is you're going to put about maybe 2 tablespoons of honey in it. Okay, you're going to put 2 tablespoons of honey into it. And then after you put the 2 tablespoons of honey in it, you're going to take the egg yolks that you had, okay, and you're going to put those, I'm sorry, not the egg yolks, the actual eggs, and you're going to put those inside of the white bowl. So they're going to be floating pretty much like in a circle. If they all bunch up in one corner, that's fine too. But they're going to be in that bowl of water. Okay. So now what you're going to do after that is you're going to get your cotton, and you're going to put it, that white piece of cotton, you're going to put it into the almond oil till it completely gets saturated and soaked. If you can't get cotton, which you can, like a cotton ball, you can also use a candle wick. They have the floating oil wicks. You can also use a floating wick. A lot of times you can get those from Botanicas. We'll be carrying them soon on our store. We're in the process of expanding the store out. But until then, you can also use a piece of cotton, which is fine too. And you're going to light it up. Okay. That's step 1. So now you have this candle. You have a candle made of almond oil with honey in it. And it has the 5 eggs within the water. Everything sitting together. Okay. So once you have that, we're going to get into step 2. And we're going to get into that right after these new product announcements. I'll be right back.
Be sure to check out our online store at saduluhouse.com/store. That's SADULUHOUSE.com/store. There you will find our product and service offerings that encourage your spiritual growth and development, including our online classes. Chief Yuya teaches classes on spiritual growth, personal development, and indigenous spirituality. The classes are absolutely amazing and are offered online so you can access them from any location across the globe. Our new spiritual training is designed so that you can go at your own pace. You can register at any time and enjoy the support of our online learning community. Our new spiritual training phase 1 is currently available and is about ministry to self. So in addition to learning the foundations of indigenous spirituality, this class will provide you with tools and guidance on how you can empower and heal yourself. For more information and for a complete list of topics, please visit us at www.saduluhouse.com/store. The Anu store also carries all of our Anu publishing titles, including Chief Yuya's latest work entitled Shrine and Altar, and his bestseller, Grasping the Root of Divine Power. This work offers some powerful gems and guidance on how to develop or enhance your spiritual practice, so be sure to get your copy today at www.saduluhouse.com. Chief Yuya also performs spiritual readings and consultations via telephone and in person. For more information about how to schedule a spiritual consultation with Chief Yuya, please visit him at www.saduluhouse.com. Be sure to check out our online store at saduluhouse.com/store. That's SADULUHOUSE.com/store. There you will find our product and service offerings that encourage your spiritual growth and development, including our online classes. Chief Yuya teaches classes on spiritual growth, personal development, and indigenous spirituality. The classes are absolutely amazing and are offered online so you can access them from any location across the globe. Our new spiritual training is designed so that you can go at your own pace. You can register at any time and enjoy the support of our online learning community. Our new spiritual training Phase 1 is currently available and is about ministry to self. So in addition to learning the foundations of indigenous spirituality, this class will provide you with tools and guidance on how you can empower and heal yourself. For more information and for a complete list of topics, please visit us at www.saduluhouse.com/store. The Anu store also carries all of our Anu publishing titles, including Chief Yuya's latest work entitled Shrine and Altar, and his bestseller, Grasping the Root of Divine Power. This work offers some powerful gems and guidance on how to develop or enhance your spiritual practice, so be sure to get your copy today at www.saduluhouse.com. Chief Yuya also performs spiritual readings and consultations via telephone and in person. For more information about how to schedule a spiritual consultation with Chief Yuya, please visit him at www.saduluhouse.com.
Okay, here we are again with Foundational Friday, and we are picking up, of course, where we left off, and we were dealing with the ritual, the magic, the magical rites to the spirit of congregation, dark matter, and aggregation. And we were speaking of the mindset that one needs to come in as we are attuning our minds to the vibrations needed on this Foundational Friday. And of course, you are listening to Chief Yuya, Haru, wherever you met me, in whatever moment, and whomever you know me as. And for some, it's just Baba. All right. So we're speaking about now working with this energy. So far, we have our candle. Okay. So we have our lighthouse. Now, what we're going to deal with is our vessel. Okay. So what I want you to get yourself is a clay pot. Okay. You're going to need a clay pot, and you don't need a particularly large pot. I mean, it can be maybe the size of the width of a DVD, or a DVD spool. You know, you get like 50 DVDs on a spool. It could be the width and size of that. Okay, so we're looking at maybe, about 16 ounce, 20 ounce wide pot. Okay, so you're going to get that, and first you're going to prep the pot. Okay, you're going to clean the pot with some of that almond oil that you already have. Okay, and you're going to set up just a little space. You're going to need some cinnamon powder, and you're going to burn some of that cinnamon powder on a charcoal incense, and you're going to use the smoke from that to bathe and clean that pot. So you're going to smudge it out with that smoke and powder. Then you're going to get efun, which is the white chalk, and you're going to get camwood, which we call osun, both of which we will be carrying on our site. So if you're unable to do this until we have the site out, then you know where you can get it from. All right. But in any event, so you're going to take that camwood and that efun, you're going to mix it together. Okay. You're going to put a little water in it. And you know that when you put water into the efun, it turns pasty. And you're going to use that mixture of the efun and camwood to paint the clay pot. Okay, and you can paint it with your hands. So you can mix that mixture up in your hands, and then you can just rub it all over the pot. It's going to dry. It's going to be kind of chalky when it dries, but that's okay. Okay. Now, let me tell you some of the other things that you're going to need, because now we have our vessel is clean, and it's imbued with the energy that we're going to be working with. So now let me give you some of the other ingredients you're going to need. You're going to need two lodestones. You know, lodestones are those magnetic stones. You're going to get 2 lodestones, and you're going to get 5 river stones, small ones, like pebbles, basically. You're going to get 5 river pebbles. Okay. You're going to put all of those inside of your clay pot. Okay. But before you put them in the clay pot, you're on the bottom of that pot, you're going to put some cotton. So you're like making a soft bed. You're going to put cotton on the bottom. And even if it's cotton balls, that's okay. Just let it kind of stretch out. So the bottom of that pot has like a cushion, like a bed. And then you're going to put some cornmeal over that. You put cornmeal over that. All right. Then after you put the cornmeal over that, you're going to put the lodestones right on top of that. The 2 lodestones. Okay. You're also going to use iron filings. So like if you had a piece of iron, an iron nail, and you put a file to it, there'd be like little splinters and sprinkles that come off. You're going to take a few of those filings and you're going to put them inside of there as well. Yes, you have to use iron filings. No, you cannot use a nail. You have to use iron filings, which you can even get with a sharp knife. If you have a sharp knife and you have an iron nail and you scrape that nail with that sharp knife, you're going to see little pieces of iron fleck off. That's all you need. When you use the right ingredients, I'll tell you something, you'll find that you don't need as many of those ingredients. It's almost like using good colognes and perfumes as opposed to cheap ones. You know, just a little dab will do. So you don't need as much. Okay. Now you're also going to collect, you need 1 green ribbon or piece of cloth. You need 1 yellow piece of cloth, and you need 1 red piece of cloth. Green, yellow, red, just like the Ethiopian flag. All right. And you're gonna rip those 2 into like 2 ribbons or 2 strips. So ultimately you're going to have 6 pieces of cloth. You're going to have 2 pieces of green, 2 pieces of red, 2 pieces of yellow, because you're going to rip them in half. Or if you actually use the same cloth, rip them and rip them. So they're long ways. So they're long. Okay. Like they're long strips. 2 green, 2 yellow, 2 red strips, but they got to come from the same piece. All right. Now, what you're going to do after that, you're going to, there's a couple things you gotta collect now. You're going to need some ori, which you know is shea butter. You're going to need cocoa butter. You're going to need coconut oil. You're going to need, and this is extremely important, sesame oil. And you're going to need cinnamon oil. Okay. That's 5 oils. I'll give them to you again. Sesame oil, cinnamon oil, coconut oil, shea butter, and cocoa butter. Okay. You're going to need all of those oils. You're also going to need 5 cowrie shells. 5 cowries. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to make a mixture with the sesame, cinnamon, coconut, shea, and cocoa butter. You know, and the way you're going to do that is you can melt them together on a low flame. Don't make it too hot. You don't want to cook them, you know, on a very low flame. So it may take a little bit. You won't need to do it so much with the cinnamon oil, but maybe the coconut oil, because sometimes it does congeal. All right. The cinnamon oil, you're going to put in last. I don't want you to heat that up too much. Okay, so you're going to make a mixture with all of them, then put the coconut oil into it. Now, here's one of the key ingredients. You're going to need a white dove. A white dove. Okay, don't get nervous. I got you. It's a white dove. I know what you're thinking. Don't worry about it. You're going to need a white dove. Okay. And that you can get from many different places. Now, I'm going to be clear on all these things that I'm telling you need to get a hold of, right? If you say, well, I can't get Osun, I can't get Efun, I can't get a white dove, will a pigeon do? A brown, well, dove and a pigeon are the same thing, but will a gray pigeon do? A brown pigeon? No. If you don't have everything that I told you to get in this ritual, you can't do the ritual. You can do your own ritual, but you won't be doing this ritual. I want you to be clear on that. Oftentimes I do allow for substitutions, not this time. So either you get what you're supposed to get or you don't. You got the whole year to do it. Okay? So, if it means that next vacation you go on, make sure you're near a live poultry place, then you can do the ritual there. All right, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take that mixture of oil, right? And you're going to use that to anoint and clean those pieces of cloth. Okay? You're going to clean your 5 cowrie shells as well as your 5 river stones. Okay? Once you clean the cowries, the river stones, and even the iron filings, you're going to put those into the pot as well. You're going to put those into the pot. Okay? Now, you're going to take some of that same spring water that you were charging before, and you're going to pour that into your clay pot. Okay? Right on top of everything that you just put in there. You're going to put it right on top. Okay? After you do that, you're then going to take, you're going to go back to your dove. Okay. Now, if you have, wherever you have your dove, make sure it's near you while you're doing all of this work. You want it close by. Okay. So then now what you're going to do is you're going to take the oil, make sure that you created before with the cinnamon and everything, right? And you're going to rub that on your feet as well as your head. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to get the dove and you're going to put that same oil mixture all over the dove. You're going to put it on the dove's legs, on the dove's wings, and the dove's head. Now, if you need to have a partner help you with this, do that. If you know that you're going to be a bit, maybe afraid of the bird, and if a wing goes up or a leg kicks out, you're going to drop it and run inside of a closet, then it will be best to have someone help you hold the dove while you're working. Okay, you're basically giving the dove a massage, so it won't really be too upset with that. And you're going to treat it tenderly. Very important. Treat it with respect. Okay, it's doing a grand work for you. You're actually doing a grand work for one another. Now, once you finish rubbing the dove down with your oil mixture, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to now take that those ribbons that you had before, and you're going to tie them on the dove. Okay, you don't want to tie up the dove's wings, so you can take the little small pieces of the cloth, even if you have to cut them, it's okay, and you want to tie them on the dove's legs, not tie the legs together. Dove needs to still be able to walk. Okay. And if you need to put one around the dove's neck, that's fine as well. But I don't really advise that, because oftentimes the dove's neck is much smaller than you realize. Because of the wings, it looks bigger. So it will probably fall right off. But you can always tie around the legs, just small pieces. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to tie a piece of yellow, green, and red, the same kind like you put on a dove. You're going to tie that around your left ankle. You're going to tie that around your left ankle. Okay. And then what you're going to do after that, you're going to take that dove, you're going to speak to it. You're going to tell it all of the different things and messages that you would like it to deliver to the cosmos for you. And not only that, you want to thank it for doing this work for you. You're going to just speak to it about all the things that you need to happen, all the things that you desire to happen, the things that are going on, the things that you need strength, the things that you need power in. Okay, so you're going to give your petitions to this dove. Okay, and you're going to give it as if you're speaking to Oshun. herself, or as if this dove is going to deliver the messages to Oshun. Okay, and most importantly with this is you're going to ask the dove to deliver your messages to Oshun. Okay, deliver your messages to Oshun. Maybe your desires to stay linked and connected with your mate. Your desires to have a mate. Your desires to know love. Your desires to release your anger. Your desires to have more friends. To be closer with your family. To have a more loving relationship with your friends. To have a more loving relationship with yourself. Okay, these are the things that you're going to reflect and build on. Okay. And now, so then what you're going to do is you're going to release that dove. You're going to release it right out of your front door. Now, don't worry if the dove doesn't fly away, if it just kind of hobbles around your yard for a while. That's okay. But what I want you to do, which is most important, I want you to sit and look at the dove. You know, I want you, when you release that dove, don't just, throw it and then go back in the house to get some hot chocolate and sit by the fire. All right, you want to stay there and you want to communicate with the dove. Now that the dove is free, you're free from the responsibility. You've traded one life for another life. You want to see the messages that the dove has for you. You will be connected and linked to this stuff. You will be connected and linked to this stuff. Okay? So this is a ritual that I would advise you to do on the full moon. And the reason being is because what you're going to do now, you still have your pot there and you still have your legs with these ribbons on them. Okay. You're not going to take them off, not when you bathe or you do anything else, at least until at a minimum until the next full moon. Okay. At such time, remember, you still have your candle lit. Your candle is lit while all this is going on. You're going to keep burning that almond oil candle. Burn it every single day for the 30 days. Okay. You can even make another water mixture if your water starts to evaporate, but it probably won't. It will probably stay exactly where it's at. When all of this is done, what you're going to do now is you're going to take whatever water was left and you're going to put it into your inside of your clay pot. This is now 30 days later at the next full moon. At that time, you can take the ribbons off of your left ankle and you're going to put them inside, or you can even tie them to your pot. Okay? And you're going to put that same water. If your water is completely gone, don't worry. Just go through the same process again. And what I mean by the same process, you're going to take the water, put more new water in the bowl, let it sit out 3 days, 3 nights, let it charge up. And that's the water that you're going to put inside of your Oshun pot. Okay. Now, the 5 eggs that you put inside of the water, what you're going to do with those 5 eggs is that you're going to place them along your property if you live in a house. Okay. If you do not live in a house and you live inside of an apartment, what you're going to do is take those eggs and you're going to bring them to the riverside. Okay. You're going to leave them with Oshun at the riverside, those 5 eggs. And you will pour your oil mixture over them again as you leave them. Okay, remember the oil mixture of the sesame oil, the cinnamon oil, coconut oil, the shea butter, and the cocoa butter. Okay, now you're going to take that mixture, right? And you're also going to combine it with your almond oil, your honey oil, right? And some of that water, and you're going to use that as a bath. Okay. Now this pot that you've created, what you're going to do is you're going to take some of that bath water when you're done bathing, just get a little scoop of it, and you're going to, or get a lot of it, get at least a gallon of it, and you're going to seal that up. Okay. You're going to seal that up and you're going to use that to feed that pot you just made. Okay. For as long as you want. You could do it all year. You can keep it forever. When you decide that you no longer need it or want it, you take that pot, because everything inside of that pot is biodegradable, and you're going to give that to the river. Okay, which I would advise you to do next next new year, next Roman or financial new year. So this is a pot that you're going to maintain all year. You're going to service it all year. Okay. So that's one basic ritual that you can do. And that ritual in particular, it actually opens up the lines of communication between you and Oshun. Okay, so you notice in it, I didn't give you a bunch of prayers to say. I did not give you a bunch of static words that you got to say this or static movements, because in fact, what it does is it connects you not only with the energy of Oshun, but it gives you favor amongst the Iyami. So you will find you will increase your relationship with the birds. You will increase your love relationships. You will, especially, this is a very good ritual if you're having health issues. Okay. You want to use this, but anything that you want to petition, that you would think that you would want to, not petition, but affirm with Oshun, you would do at the time when you're releasing that dove. And you can always come to that pot and have your conversations. If you are one who is in my class and you're casting Obi, you can also use that pot as an invocation focal point for your divination. So you can also divine with that pot. I would advise that you keep it close to your bedside. Okay? You keep it close to your bedside. All right? You can keep it either in your bedroom, or you can even keep it on your nightstand. That's why I said you're not really going to get a really big pot. And what you do, because again, we got a clay pot, don't worry if it doesn't have a lid. All you have to do is put a white plate on top of it. That will keep the water in it. Okay, so the water won't evaporate. But if the water evaporates, that's fine. You know the process to create more water to put in there. And again, you can even use your spiritual baths to feed it. Okay, so that's a basic ritual that you all, in the same way that a person who works with the Orisha do. So they're doing rituals, ebos, and sacrifice the same way, you know. And then you have those who just work with the ancestors. So whatever energies it is that you work with, regardless, you still have to make sure that your vibration is correct coming in. Because if your vibration is not correct, then your rituals will be destroyed. They'll be ruined. The work that you're actually aiming and striving to do. So I wanted to just give that little disclaimer, you know, before we start anything, because I've found that to be an issue at times for people, just some of the frustration. And of course, like I've said before, I do receive many what I call orphan, you know, people who either are no longer working with their quote unquote spiritual parents, or maybe had a falling out or whatever, or just were kind of left by the wayside, got initiated, or got their warriors or their lekes, and that was the end of it. So I tend to get a lot of those perhaps because I have the ability to explain a lot of things, and I don't mind explaining things, and that's comforting for people when they kind of feel like they're lost. But a lot of times people are quick to blame their old teachers and look at me as some sort of new light. So I actually haven't done that many either way, but I know either way it's been a while. You know, I kind of like to focus on the cerebral and the healing and the getting the spirit and attuned to what it's supposed to be attuned to, and people creating their own frequencies. I tend to dwell on that a bit more than just giving rote ritual, because as I always say to you, the vibration that you enter into your rituals with is the vibration that the rituals will amplify. And I know whenever a teacher is giving out rituals, people perk up because they figure, okay, I'm gonna do this and now I'm gonna get some stuff. And sometimes that doesn't happen, and then the frustration sets in, or they feel like maybe I'm in the wrong tradition, maybe I have the wrong teacher, just maybe everything is wrong. And sometimes individuals don't take a look back to say, well, maybe I'm approaching this with the wrong mindset. And that can be the most dangerous thing in all of this work, approaching it with the wrong mindset. The rituals owe you nothing. The teachers owe you nothing. And the astral forces that you are petitioning and working with owe you absolutely nothing. So in fact, it is your ability to you can begin to assist. So these are not theories and thoughts and ideas that have been developed within me overnight, nor are they theories, thoughts, and ideas that have been developed inside of a vacuum, but they've been tried and proven. The real current is the desert of the mind, because your mind can only perceive what is real, but you have yet to actually fully. So if the universe is mental, then can the universe learn something? Certainly. Okay, peace and power, Foundation of Friday family. Here we are again with another session. I guess our first session for the Roman New Year of 2015. And as each and every time, as it has been thus far, I am your conductor on this journey. H. Yuya Asan Anu, known by many names, but more affectionately known as Chief Yuya. So here we are again with another session. And as mentioned in the title of this broadcast, what I really wanted to deal with in this session was maybe some small rituals and offerings that you can do to get your financial new year kicked off properly, or kicked off in a way where at least you feel empowered, that you feel like you're taking some things into your own hands. So I know it's been some time since I've done a show on rituals specifically, just rituals. I mean,
Ibashe Oludumare, Ibashe Owumila, Ibashe Awo Akoda, Ibashe Asheda, Ibashe Ejubona Mefa, Ibashe Agbongbong, Oba Ile Ife, Ibashe Adabalutu Ife, Ibashe Olokun, Ibashe Olasa, Ibashe Aje Ogun Kuloso Olamba Aye, Ibashe Ita Merindinogun, Ibashe Orunoko, Ibashe Okunoko, Ibashe Okiti Awooko, Ibashe Oguni Male Deju, Ibashe Babas, Ibashe Yeyes, Ibashe Ori, Ibashe Tototo, Oludumare Emojuba. Kiba me eshi orunjuba. Ashe, 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 ashe.
but the true essence of magical or occult phenomenon is the creation of an ego, the creation of an identity, but an identity that will hold and maintain through lifetimes. The all in all is a spiritual and unseen subcontext that lies beneath all of reality. That is the all. And that within itself is mental. The greatest thing you can do in this moment is to be aware that these events are happening and to start digging into your creative mind as to where you get your mind tuned into the frequency of what it is that you're attempting to accomplish, and remove any sense of entitlement from the process and look at it as just that, a process or a transaction. And you have to come with a pure and open heart, because most of the time when you're doing a ritual or you're doing an ebo, you're presenting adumu or a tutu, you're doing it because you want to transform your life in some way. It's usually, sometimes of course you do it because you want to give tribute to the energies that you respect and that you honor, whether those be your ancestors or whether they just be the forces that are around you that you appreciate. It could be the air, it could be the water, it could be a tree, it could be an ant, it could be a flea, whatever it is that you look at and you're able to create a more intuitive relationship with and say, okay, I vibe with you. Sometimes you just do rituals to give those energies honor, which is cool, because that's what keeps everything sustained, because we all have our energies and our forces that we have certain affinities for. And that's where a lot of the power, or at least the collective evolutionary power, comes from, because everyone's not focused on one thing. You have some people who they could care less about an Orisha. They only work with the saints, but they work with the Catholic saints.